Hi, this is David King, and this is my ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. I was challenged by Steve King, my brother, who was out in Santa Cruz, California, and he got dunked yesterday. I'd like to dedicate today's dunking to three people. First and foremost is my mother, who had ALS and died in 1984. Back then, there were no clinics for information about ALS. There were no doctors who specialized in ALS. It was just mom and dad trying to figure out what they could do along their way. And they were helped by two very special doctors, Dr. Saul Brashadsky, who was our family physician, who had never seen a patient with ALS before. He did the best he could. He did a lot of research, and we're forever grateful to him. And we're forever grateful to Dr. Spears, who was a pediatrician neurologist, who was a friend of the family, who stepped in, did a lot of research on what she could do to help mom. She learned how to do electric stimulation to help mom swallow. So we're ever indebted to her help for that. The second person I'd like to dedicate today's dunking to is Tom Masters. Tom Masters was a friend. He was a fellow kayaker. He was a fellow member of the Kayak and Canoe Club of New York. Tom Masters demonstrated how to live with ALS. Tom gave me the honor and pleasure of accompanying him on his final kayaking trip. Together we came down the Mongop River. Tom knew that this would be the last time he ever paddled. 2 weeks later, Tom went skydiving, and the following spring he went to the Galapagos Islands and went scuba diving. Tom really demonstrated how to live with ALS. Tom also helped the ALS community. Tom was involved with getting the word out about ALS. He went on several radio stations, talked with newspapers about his experiences with ALS. He also was an advocate for people with ALS. After he built an addition onto his home and experienced the difficulty of doing that, he approached his town and got them to write special rules within their zoning ordinances that would help people in the future who are dealing with physical disabilities and help them fast-track getting additions made to their home. And so we really appreciate everything that Tom always did. And the last person that I'd like to dedicate today to is a dear friend, Lucy Wax, one of my favorite patients of all time, who has been dealing with ALS for 16 years now. And her struggle continues. We all think of her all the time. She has shown incredible courage. She has remained graceful throughout all of this 16-year ordeal. Lucy, we love you. And one thing I'd like to talk about tonight before I get dunked is something that's very important to me, very important to everyone with ALS, and really the reason that we're doing this Ice Bucket Challenge, and that is how we help the people with ALS. For 11 years, I was involved with clinics for ALS, 5 years at Beth Israel Medical Center in Manhattan, 6 years at Robert Wood Johnson. And these clinics are something special that the ALS Association does for their patients. They are multidisciplinary clinics where patients are seen by a neurologist who specializes in ALS, by a nurse, by a physical therapist and occupational therapist, a speech therapist, a nutritionist, and finally a social worker who helps them deal with the issues that they are dealing with, the emotions they are dealing with, but also with helping them get the kind of assistance that they really need. These clinics are really special. They weren't around when mom and dad were dealing with this, and so I can really see how much they help everybody every day. So, the challenge. This is the part where all of my friends have to be really nervous because they don't know who I'm going to name. Relax. There's a special challenge for this. As I mentioned, I think these clinics are so vitally important to everybody with ALS, and so I am going to challenge a clinic. I'm going to challenge my former clinic at Robert Wood Johnson, and if everyone in the clinic will participate, then I will donate $500 to the clinic, to their loan closet, where they stock adaptive equipment and assistive equipment to hand out to the patients as they come through. So I will give $500 to the physical therapist and occupational therapist to go out and buy the kind of assistive devices that they need if I can get everybody in the clinic to participate in a dunk. Second challenge is to the Kayak and Canoe Club of New York to honor their former member Tom Masters. asking as many members of the club to participate in a dunking as possible. And we're going to start with the president, Steve McCluckey, and ask him to take a dunk in honor of Tom Masters. Thank you. And now my friend and neighbor, Michael, will do the honors.
Bottoms up. Ready?
Ready.
Woo! Yes!
Thank you, sir. May I have another?